guys, my name is Masha and today I'm doing a face reveal. So hi! Wow, this is new and weird, but I'm glad to be finally doing this. I've been wanting to do a face reveal for quite a while, and I felt like this was the perfect time. I just wanted to say thank you to you guys because this is the most rapid growth I've ever seen on my channel. I went from 4,000 to 7,500 within the span of 2 weeks, and that is amazing to me because I never expected that many people to be interested in what I'm doing. Literally the first video that I filmed in 3 years got over 100,000 views now, and that is mind-boggling to me. I wanted to take this as an opportunity to get to know you guys better, to connect more with you guys, so I felt like this was the perfect time to do what I'm doing today. So let's get into some of your questions. I'm gonna leave timestamps below for you so you can jump around the video if you want to skip a question, go back a question, or whatever you want to do. So question number 1, does it feel weird to do a face reveal? Yes, very weird. Some of you may actually know that I used to do YouTube back in the day in like 2010, but when I say I used to do YouTube, I mean I did like 5 to 10 videos. And I actually did show my face in them back then, but that was a long time ago when I was a child, and I didn't think I would be showing my face on this channel for a long time, if ever. So this is definitely a very weird thing for me to do, but I'm happy to be here today. Question number 2, is Masha your real name? Yes and no. So Masha is kind of my real name. My real name in English is Maria, and that is what all my friends call me. Masha is a version of Maria in Russian. And when I started this channel, I actually started filming my videos in Russian, which is why I used Masha Nots as an alias. So Masha is my real name, but English-speaking people usually call me Maria. Next question is, how old are you? I am 21 years old, and I recently turned actually. And this leads me to a very funny story. There was a guy that came to our flat today, knocked on the door, and he was handing out some flyers. There's a vote happening really soon, and he was handing out some flyers for one of the parties to get us to vote for that party. And when I opened the door, he asked me, is Mummy and Daddy home? That made me laugh, because how old do I look? I know that you guys have never seen me, so I'm not saying that. Just comment down below, how old would you say that I was if I hadn't just told you? But for him to ask me, is Mummy and Daddy home? I found that so ridiculously hilarious, and then I told him that I live here without my parents, and he asked me if I was over 18, and I was like, yeah, I'm 21. He was very surprised, but he carried on his speech talking about the party that he wanted me to vote for, so it was all good. But I just found that really funny. But yeah, I am 21, I recently turned. My birthday is on the 7th of April, if anybody wants to know. Next question is, where are you from? I am from many places. I always find this question very difficult to answer because I am ethnically and living-wise from many places. I was born in Moscow and I am Russian, among other things. But then when I was a baby, we moved to France, and then we moved to London, which is where I grew up, hence my British accent. And then when I was 10 years old, we moved back to Russia, and I lived there until I was 18, which is when I moved back here to London to study at university, and this is where I am now, and this is where I plan to be for the foreseeable future and probably the long future as well. Next question is, when, how, and why did you start making bracelets? I started making bracelets in 2009. And a friend taught me. That was literally how. A friend taught me how to make the basic candy stripe. Then I found out that you can also do the chevron. And then I found all these bracelet making websites and these videos on YouTube of other people making bracelets. And this whole new world opened up to me, and I started making bracelets like that. What do you do for a living outside of YouTube? Well, you say outside of YouTube as if it has earned me any money, which it hasn't yet. So the only thing right now that I do for a living is waitressing, actually. It's not the best job, but it gets me by. What do you study? So as some of you know, I go to university. I do not feel comfortable saying exactly what the degree is that I'm studying because it's a very specific degree, and I feel like you can actually find the specific university if you just Google it. So I'm just gonna vaguely answer what it is that I study. I study a lot of computer science and I do a lot of programming, but also I do a lot in the sort of design field. So we've got sort of digital design, we've got a little bit of filmmaking and sound design. So all of that kind of stuff. And it has actually helped me with editing my videos. So some of the skills that I've learned at university about sound design and animation and stuff has helped me throughout my YouTube journey. The logo, for example, the intro sequence that I make to all of my videos, the one with the bouncing logo, granted is a very simple thing to do, but that was done based on something that I learned from university. So it has helped me in many ways that I didn't realize it would. Do you have siblings? I do indeed. I actually have 2 sisters. I would show a picture, but I don't think they're comfortable with me sharing that, so I'm not going to. What is your favorite song or favorite band? Ooh, that question got me going. When I read that, I had to go look through my entire music library to sort of pick out songs and bands that I'm really interested in. And wow, that took me on a journey. Like, I went into a full-blown like hour or 2 maybe just singing along to some of my favorite songs. I actually listen to quite a lot of different bands, but some of my favorites have to be Muse, The Killers, Fall Out Boy, 1,000 Foot Crutch, Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace, and I'm gonna leave some of my favorite songs up on the screen right now. Next question. I know that you said you don't wear your bracelets, but what do you do with them? So I've actually been getting into wearing my bracelets again. I've been wearing some of my bracelets recently, and I think I'm gonna start doing that again, But on a different note, what do I do with them? Before, they were just lying around not doing anything, but now, just as a secret to you guys, I might start selling them soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Next question is, how are you able to keep up with all of your subscribers? It always amazes me. Honestly, it wasn't that hard when I was below 4,000. That was the sort of area where I could keep up with literally everything that I got. I could at least heart or even reply to every comment that I received, and I could answer every single Instagram message or email that I received. Now that it's starting to pick up and I'm getting more and more people by the minute, it has become increasingly more difficult. So I am noticing that I'm skipping comments because I physically cannot answer them, or I am not seeing all of the messages that I'm getting on Instagram, and that makes me sad, because the entire purpose of me creating this channel and doing this whole YouTube thing was because I wanted to create my own small community of people who enjoy the same things that I do. I wanted to have people that I could talk to about my interests, and people who would just appreciate the things that I like to do the same way that I do. So talking to my audience and connecting with you guys on a more personal level has always been a high priority for me. It's the entire reason I do my channel, and I hope, however many subscribers I have, I'm always able to connect at least on some level. I always do my best. I always genuinely try to do my best. I always read all of the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can now, but definitely it's always going to be my top priority to connect as much as I can with you guys. How do you still have motivation to finish your bracelets, especially thicker ones? This question is actually pretty interesting because I don't always finish my bracelets. You just don't see the ones that I don't finish. Watch my unfinished bracelet collection video to actually get to see the ones that I don't finish. But in reality, the ones that I do finish, the thing that makes me start a new bracelet is finding a really cute pattern, or doing the same pattern but with a different color palette. Like, wanting to see how the colors work with each other in the bracelet is something that I find very interesting, especially with color shifting string. That interest keeps me going until about the middle of the bracelet, because the more of the bracelet you do, the more you get to see the pattern forming. But other than that, I usually motivate myself by saying, oh, I've got this much left. Oh, let's see how much I can do in this go, or something like that. Whenever I get bored of a bracelet, I just sort of push myself by motivating myself, saying, oh, I don't have that much left. I can get this much done in today. I can get this much done. That's usually how I do it. But it's not really that big of an issue for me because I do genuinely enjoy making bracelets. Next question is, will I be doing more giveaways? And the answer to that is yes and no. I'm probably never going to be doing bracelet giveaways, but I am going to be doing bracelet competitions. The reason for that being is because I don't really like giveaways. Giveaways are usually done to promote a product or to promote a channel or something, to promote growth. Giveaways are usually done to promote growth. And while I do care about growth, I don't want to be giving away something that I made and a piece of me. Like, every single bracelet that I make has a piece of my sort of soul in it, I guess. I put my love into it, and I don't want to be giving it away just to get more subscribers, if you know what I mean. That feels wrong to me, and I don't want to be doing that. I did my competition because I wanted to connect more with my audience. I wanted to send some of you guys something made by me because I really do appreciate all of your support. So when I did the first one, I did a competition. That way not literally everyone can enter, but only people who are genuinely interested and who put some effort into entering can enter. So I know that whoever entered, if I pick absolutely anyone from people who have entered, I know that they are genuinely interested in what I'm doing because they've already put in some effort into entering the entire competition. And that feels better to me because that way I can sift out the people who just enter giveaways randomly just to get something for free, you know what I mean? Not that that's wrong to do, but it's just not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to connect with my audience, which is why it makes me really happy now to see the people who have won my bracelets, to see them posting pictures and to see them wearing my bracelet makes me genuinely happy. Anyway, point being, yes, I am going to be making one in the near future, actually. Next question is, how often do you make bracelets? I am always making a bracelet, literally all the time. There is always an unfinished bracelet that I have started that I'm making at any given point in time, all the time. Okay, so next couple of questions are about my marriage. Some of you know that I am married and you've asked quite a few questions about that. So the next few are gonna be about that. So the first question about my marriage is, how long have you been married? And I actually have this. This is something that we got for photo shoots for our wedding day. It's obviously the date of our wedding, and since we got married in Russia, the dates are not the same as they are in the US. So we have the date, which is the 21st of December 2018. I'm covering the 8th, but 2018. That is when I got married, so I've been married 5 months now, isn't it? Not too long, but we've been together for a while. So the next thing about my marriage is, show us your husband. Not exactly a question, but I wanted to address that too. If I've just gotten comfortable enough to show my face on the internet, it's gonna take my husband some time to get comfortable with that, if he's ever gonna get comfortable with that. I'm not gonna force anything of him. If he wants me to show his face on the internet, I'm gonna do that, but right now he's not comfortable and I don't know if he ever will be. So we'll see about that one. Next question is, do you have any kids? And no, I do not, and I do not plan on having any kids for a while. I am, as I said, 21, and while I did get married at 20, which is a pretty young age to get married anyway, I do not see myself having kids in the near future, because I personally feel too young for that. Not to say that this is a young age to have kids, to each their own, but it's just not something that I see myself doing soon. Some of you guys already know quite a lot about me, so you know that me and my husband are currently long distance. So one of you asked, how do you cope with the distance? And I'm not gonna lie, it is very hard. So just to preface, I am in London, he is in Moscow. We are currently working on getting him over to London to move in with me and to live with me in this country. Very difficult process and it's very expensive, and that's why it's taking such a long time. So we have been long distance for a while now. I'll be honest, it really sucks. Like, long distance relationships are terrible to go through. If you can avoid it in any way, shape or form, I would definitely suggest avoiding it. Not that I'm saying to break up, but I'm saying if there's any way that you could be with your significant other, your spouse, whatever, work on that extra hard to be with them, because long distance relationships are the worst. They really suck, let me tell you that. But some of the ways we're making it work is, I mean, we've been together for a very long time. We've been together for 6.5 years. It's not like we thought we were gonna break up or anything. So the thought of us knowing that we're in it for life, that we're committed to each other and we're gonna stay together, and we know that, at least that, there is no uncertainty of whether or not we're gonna break up. It's just a tough period that we need to go through, and we both realize and acknowledge that. So I guess that keeps us going in a way, but also obviously texting every single day, constantly. Talking to each other on Skype, seeing each other face to face, sending each other stuff through the mail, being able to, you know, fly over and see each other every once in a while. All of those things come together and definitely really do help. And I just want to say to anybody who is currently going through or is about to go through a long distance relationship, don't listen to anybody who's telling you that you won't be able to make it, because people have told us. We started our long distance thing when I moved to England to come study at university, and before I moved, people were telling us, oh, you should just break up, it's not going to last anyway. And first of all, I don't understand why people would ever say that, because that's just something completely unnecessary and rude to say to someone. But if you're in that situation and you have people saying that, just completely ignore them. You guys can do it if you believe in yourself, and if you guys are committed to each other, then nothing is impossible. Going off of that, the last question about my marriage is, how did I meet my husband? Tell us the story. It is a very long and complicated story, but if I was to chop it down, I'm gonna start from the beginning. It was 2012, and I was 14, he was 15. I'm now 21, he's gonna be turning 22 really soon. But basically, despite the fact that we both lived in Moscow at that time, we actually met in Germany. which is an interesting story. We both went on a school trip to Germany to study the German language in a school in Berlin. And while we were in Berlin, we met there. We met there and I actually did not like him at the beginning at all, which is kind of funny to think about now. But by the end of that trip was a month and a half long, and by the end of that trip, we got together. Once again, I was 14 and he was 15. It was my first ever relationship. It wasn't meant to become anything serious, and I thought that by the end of the trip, we were gonna break up, but then we didn't. So I thought, you know, we'd hang around Moscow a couple of times, but then we'd break up, but then we didn't. And we never did. So, you know, whenever I tell people that I got together with my husband at 14 years old and I'm still with him, people get really surprised, and I'm the most surprised in this situation because I genuinely thought it wasn't gonna last, but it did, and I couldn't be happier. It's the best. So the next question is, why did you decide to get back into YouTube after your break? So some of you may have seen, noticed, or heard me talk about the fact that I used to do videos in 2015. I started this channel in 2015, and the first couple of videos that I did in Russian. And then I took a 3-year break where I didn't film any videos and I didn't even make any bracelets at all. But when I came back, the videos that I started doing were obviously in English, which I am speaking now. I started making my videos in Russian because I felt like that would be more interesting to me at the time because I was living in Russia. But I don't know, it didn't really work well for me. It didn't feel 100% in my element. I don't know how to describe it. Though I have lived in Russia and I have lived in England for both such a long time. I'm 21 and I've lived for 10 years in Russia, for 10 years in England. It's literally like half and half. I feel like both cultures are sort of in me. I've always felt closer to the English part of me in the sense of like my mentality and my views on life and everything just felt more British to me. So I guess I was just more comfortable with doing my channel in English, which is why I'm doing it now. So I don't know, I just decided to go for the language switch when I started up my channel again. And I'm glad I did because it allowed me to meet all of you guys. So the next question is, who is your favorite YouTuber? And I watch quite a lot of YouTube. Not so much recently, to be honest, because I've been more focused on producing my own YouTube videos. But the YouTuber that I watch consistently and the one that I like most right now is actually, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Please don't get angry with me for pronouncing her name wrong because I can't pronounce people's names. But I think her name is pronounced Murphy Napier? Napier? No, I don't know. Murphy. Her name is Murphy. I'm gonna link her channel down below. She does booktube videos. She does reviews on books. She does book discussions. So many different things. She's currently narrating books, which I find really fascinating to watch. I just love the way that she does it. I find her opinions very interesting, and just the way that she talks about books makes me want to read all the books that she's talking about, which I do. Reading is a big hobby of mine, and I've read a lot of books based on her recommendations, so I really enjoy her videos. She's definitely a really great channel, and I recommend you guys all go and subscribe to her if you're interested in reading at all. Next question is, what are some of your other hobbies? So I was actually really into bullet journaling recently. I did it for about 2 years, and then I stopped because I don't know, I grew out of it. It took up too much of my time and I didn't get that much enjoyment out of it by the end of it, but it was definitely a big part of my life for about 2 years. I bullet journaled every single day. And Amanda Rach Lee is a great YouTuber that does bullet journaling videos. Referring to my previous question, again, I don't watch her as much anymore because I'm not that into it anymore, but when I did, she was definitely a huge inspiration to me in terms of bullet journaling. But other than that, nails, you can see that I've done my manicure. I used to do it quite a lot. That used to be my hobby. I was a subscriber of Simply Nailogical before Polish Mountain. I was a subscriber of hers right around the time when she did her first face reveal. So I was like really early on one of her subscribers, and she definitely ignited my passion for nails. So I was really into that for a very long time, doing different designs, and you know, I have a giant collection of nail polish in my cupboard right there. Other than that, reading, I'm really into reading. I read mostly young adult and adult. I try to push in like a classic every book or two that I read. I mean, I enjoy them, but I have to like force myself to read them to enjoy them. Also gaming, I play some games. I really enjoy Stardew Valley. That is a game that has inspired me in so many ways. Just the fact that it was created by one guy fascinates me. I think it's an amazing game and I love it. City Skylines is a game that I play all the time. I really enjoy city builders. When I was a kid, I had this giant roll of paper that I would just draw cities on and plan cities out. And the fact that I can now do that digitally via game amazes me, and I love that game. Sam Burr is a great YouTuber that does City Skylines videos. Gonna link him down below. Also, Flabaliki is a great guy. James Turner from The Sim Supply and Flabaliki has 2 channels. I've met him, which I'm really happy about. I'm gonna insert a picture here. But I've met him and he does really cool videos about The Sims, different sort of sandbox games like City Skylines, Prison Architect, Planet Coaster, those sort of games. He does videos on games like that. Again, gonna link him down below. One of my favorite channels as well that I forgot to mention. And the last question for today is, how do you manage your time? Don't do it very well. Like, I used to manage my time between university, work, my marriage, and YouTube. 4 things that are very significant to me. Thankfully, right now university is done with, so I only have 3 things that I need to manage. Plus, I got to cut down on my work hours a little bit, so there's less of that to worry about. But still, managing all of those things together is very difficult for me, and I'm not doing very well. I'm not doing very well. I try my best though. There's definitely not any tips that I can give or anything like that, just because I'm not really doing that well myself, but I try. And that is it for the questions. I could not get to all of them. I'm really, really sorry. But also, I'm really thankful at the amount of questions that I got. It's mind-blowing to me how many of you guys responded when I asked you guys to send in questions. So thank you very much for being so active on my channel. And even if you aren't, even if you're just a silent watcher, which I am of many YouTube channels, a silent watcher, never connecting in any way, never commenting, never doing anything but clicking that subscribe button or liking a bunch of videos or something. Even if you are a silent watcher like I am to many other channels, I appreciate you. I genuinely do. It's just great to know that there are people out there that are interested in the same things that I am, because that was literally the point of creating my channel, and the fact that I've already achieved that I have this small community of people is mind-blowing and so great, and it's just thrilling. I'm having so much fun with this whole YouTube journey, and I'm really thankful to you guys. So thank you guys for watching. This was a really weird video to make, but hopefully I could show my face in more of my videos in the future. So this opens the door to many new content possibilities, so if you have any video ideas, leave them down in the description. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I post videos every Tuesday and Saturday. I try to, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye!